Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. The Government of India has appointed Lieutenant General M.U. Nair as the new National Cyber Security Coordinator (NCSC). He has become the third person to hold the position after Lieutenant General retired Dr. Rajesh Pant and First Chief Dr. Gulshan Rai. Lieutenant General M.U. Nair presently held the role of a Signal Officer in Chief at the Army Headquarters. Debt-ridden Pakistan will become IMF's fourth biggest borrower in the world after receiving a fresh loan of $3 billion, reported the Express Tribune. The report added that earlier, in terms of loans from the IMF, Argentina ranked first with $46 billion, followed by Egypt at $18 billion, Ukraine at $12.2 billion, Ecuador at $8.2 billion, and Pakistan at $7.4 billion. Around 70% of construction work of India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway has been completed, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said. India, Thailand and Myanmar are working on 1,400 km long highway that would link the three countries. The highway will connect Moreh in Manipur with Mau Sat in Thailand via Myanmar. Indian refiners have begun paying for some oil imports from Russia in Chinese yuan, Reuters reported on Monday. The development comes as Western sanctions force Russia and its customers to find alternative to the US dollar for settling payments. Indian Oil Corporation IOC in June reportedly became the first state refiner to pay for some Russian purchase in yuan. Almost 15 years after its request to join the alliance, Iran formally became a full member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) on Tuesday this week. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the SCO summit virtually and conveyed his best wishes to President Ibrahim Raisi. Over past 2 decades, SCO has emerged as an important platform for peace, prosperity and development in entire Asia, he added. China has imposed curbs on export of some products made from gadolinium and germanium, key metals used to make computer chips. Effective August 1st, new curbs require special licenses to export gadolinium and germanium from China, which is world's biggest producer of these metals. The move comes after US efforts to curb Chinese access to some advanced microprocessors. The Union Cabinet has approved the draft of Digital Personal Data Protection (DPDP) Bill 2023, as per reports on Wednesday. This paves way for tabling it in the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament. The bill proposes to levy a penalty of up to Rs 250 crores on entities for every instance of violation of norms in the bill. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar visited Zanzibar on a 4-day official visit to Tanzania. Dr. Shankar was received by President Hussein Al Mianwi. He also attended a deck reception hosted on board INS Trishul with President of Zanzibar. During the visit, Dr. Shankar held high-level talks and co-chaired the 10th Joint Commission meeting with his counterparts. He visited a water supply project funded by the Government of India line of credit and call on top of leadership. The minister also met with the members of Parliamentary Friendship Group of India and inaugurated an India-Tanzania business meeting. Union Minister for Road Transport and Highway Nitin Gadkari has said that the Indian government is planning to implement the Bahubali cattle fence along the highway in India to prevent cattle from crossing the road and causing damage and dangerous accidents that result in loss of human lives. The Bahubali fence will be 1.2 meters high and will be installed on section 23 of NH30 as a comprehensive solution. The cattle fence is constructed using bamboo, treated with creosote oil and coated with HDPE, making it a stronger alternative to steel. The fence has a fire rating of Class 1, ensuring safety and aligns with principles of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which aims to make all highways sustainable and minimize harm to the wildlife cattle, he added. China has released its first homegrown open source desktop operating system, OpenClin, state media said. It's based on the existing open source Linux operating system. China's version was built by a community of about 4,000 developers, reports added. Developing an operating system independent of US technology has been an important goal for China's tech industry in recent years. The Dutch government collapsed on Friday this week because of the disagreement between the coalition parties over asylum policies. The four parties were unable to find agreement in the crisis talks chaired by Prime Minister Mark Rutte. Local media said that the fresh elections would likely be held in November this year. The United States said it would supply Ukraine with cluster munition for its counter-offensive against Russia. United States President Joe Biden said sending cluster munition to Ukraine was a difficult decision and it had been taken him a while to be convinced to do it. Biden added he had acted because Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. Cluster bombs are banned by over 100 countries in the present day. 3 Indian railway staff posted in Odisha's Balasore district who were arrested by CBI have been accused of destroying evidence after the triple train crash that killed 293 people. The arrested staff are Senior Section Engineer Signals Arun Kumar Mahanta, Section Engineer Mohammad Amir Khan, and Technician Pappu Kumar. They were also charged with culpable homicide not amounting to murder. The United Nations on Friday this week deplored the horrendous civilian cost of the war in Ukraine as the country on Saturday marked 500 days since the beginning of Russia's large-scale invasion. According to the United Nations Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine, more than 9,000 civilians, including 500 children, have been killed since Russia began invading Ukraine in February last year.
And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded this week back in history.
1st July 1964, Civil Rights Act signed. On this day in 1964, US President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, perhaps the most important US law on civil rights since Reconstruction, that is from 1865 to 1877, and a hallmark of American civil rights movement. 2nd July 1863, Battle of Gettysburg ended. Following 3 days of intense fighting, casualties numbered more than 50,000. The Battle of Gettysburg ended this day in 1863 with a victory for the Union forces and was seen as a turning point in the American Civil War. 3rd July 1776, Declaration of Independence approved by 2nd Continental Congress. The Declaration of Independence, adopted this day in 1776 by the Second Continental Congress, called for the American colonies to cede from Great Britain, a proclamation now commemorated by United States national holiday. 4th July 1950, Israel's Law of Return passed. Passed this day in 1950 by Knesset, the Law of Return guaranteed Jews the freedom to immigrate to Israel and receive immediate citizenship. But it proved controversial when the question, "Who is Jew?" raised another issues. 5th July 1942, Anne Frank forced into hiding. Anne Frank and her family went into hiding in Amsterdam on this day in 1942 and lived in a secret annex, an experience documented in her diary, which became a classic of war literature until their capture on August 4, 1944. 6 July 1898, Hawaiian Island annexed by United States. The United States Congress annexed Hawaii through a joint resolution signed by President William McKinley on this day in 1898, paving the way for the island to become a territory in 1900 and later a United States state in 1959. 7 July 1497, Vasco da Gama's first voyage to India. On this day in 1497, Vasco da Gama sailed from Lisbon with a fleet of 4 vessels, and he ultimately opened a sea route from Western Europe to Asia by the way of Cape of Good Hope, ushering in a new era in the world history.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.